I don't believe that any side in the Second World War was clean. Every side committed gross atrocities, and one of the most obvious atrocities was the British campaign of terror bombing against Germany. The British ruling class, perhaps I should say, firebombed Hamburg, destroyed it, poured thousands of tons of high explosives and incendiaries into a tightly packed city, mostly built of wood, and killed tens of thousands of civilians. This was repeated on a much larger scale in 1945 in the terror bombing of Dresden, a city which had absolutely no military significance. It was crowded with refugees, desperate to get away from the Russian advance in the east, and for several days, British and American, though mostly British planes, simply emptied thousands of tons of high explosive and incendiaries, and they may have killed 250,000 civilians. We really had no idea how many people were killed in the firebombing of Dresden, because the Germans themselves didn't know how many civilians were in the city at the time. I think the official British total is 60,000, but I think the truth is much nearer to the 250,000 that are often mentioned. Now, these were atrocities. It is not the case that German civilians in Hamburg and Dresden simply got in the way and were unfortunate collateral damage. The purpose of the bombing was to demoralise the German population so that German war production would suffer. It was, by the way, a failure. German war production only began to crumble in the last few months of the Second World War. Indeed, a German friend once told me that right up until about April 1945, it was possible to post a letter in Dresden and have it delivered the next morning in Cologne. The British campaign of terror bombing did not seriously disrupt German economic life, not until the last few weeks of the war. Actual occupation of Germany, that's what did it.